Well, hello, wizards.
We got magic in us, just a touch of pixie dust. It's no mystery, just some positive energy.
Today would be a great day to focus on some landscape art. Now, in case you don't remember what landscape art is, or you never knew, landscape art is art that focuses on the land and things that you would find on the land. For example, trees, mountains, beaches. Oh, there's so many things. But today we're going to focus on a mountain landscape. For today's lesson, you'll need 3 sheets of paper and 1 very sharp pencil and a pencil sharpener to keep that point nice and sharp. Oh, before we start our landscape art, there's something we need to practice. It's called shading. Shading is creating lightness and darkness in your picture. And to do this, we're going to use the edge of our pencil. That's the side. We never want to use the point to create the shade. Press hard on the pencil and I go back and forth, leaving a very, very dark mark. That's going to be my darkest shade. Next, I can press a little bit lighter because I want to leave a medium shade, but still I go back and forth until I get a medium shadow. For the last one, I want this one to be the lightest shade possible. This time I have to press even lighter than all the other times. I'm going to do so, still never using my pencil point, always using the side of my pencil as I go back and forth, creating the lightest mark possible. Now that's my light shade. And now we have 3 different shades. We have a dark, a medium, and a light. Now that we've practiced our shading, let's create some landscape art. All you'll need is 2 sheets of paper and a pencil. And it doesn't matter what size your paper is. Take one of your papers and we're going to tear it in half. But we're going to tear it in half in a zigzag kind of way. If you want to, you can draw your zigzags. Now you're going to tear your paper in half and you're going to try to tear it along the zigzag lines. It should never go higher than the top of the page or lower than the bottom of the page. Once you're ready, start at one end of the paper and start to tear it. Try to tear it along the curved lines that you've already drawn. Now you see, I'm not getting it exactly. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Yay! I did it! Hopefully you did too, and you should have 2 sheets of paper. And both of them look like they already have a little bit of a mountain on them. Take 1/2 of the torn paper and place it very close to the top of the other paper that wasn't torn. Leave a little room at the very top because the very top is going to be our sky and it's going to be nighttime. So we're going to use the darkest shade. So when you're shading, make sure that you're holding the papers very tight against each other so that they don't slip and they stay in place. Remember, use the side of the pencil as you go back and forth to make a dark shade for your sky. And don't worry if your pencil sometimes slips underneath the torn paper. Remove the torn paper, and at the top you can already see our night sky and the top of our mountains. Let's create another row of mountains. To do this, use your other piece of torn paper and place it a little lower than the mountains you just made. We're going to use a medium shade this time for the second row of mountains. And just as before, hold the torn paper tight against the paper underneath so it doesn't slip. This time we're going to do a medium shade, so we're going to apply a little bit less pressure than before, and we're going to go back and forth until we get a nice medium shade. When you've completed that, remove the torn paper and you should be able to see your sky and 2 rows of mountains. Let's do the last row of mountains, and this time we're going to do it with a light shade. So do everything you did as before, except this time apply a very light pressure as you're creating the lightest shade possible. And when you're done, remove the paper and let's check to see if you have your night sky and 3 rows of mountains. Sometimes the mountains are a little difficult to see because they blend into each other. So I'm just going to take my pencil and go over the edges of each row of mountains so that I can see them clearly. Do you see the 3 rows of mountains now? You do? Okay. Now, At the bottom, let's make a line that goes across the paper so that we can separate the mountains from the ground. I want to create texture in my picture. I like the rough texture of the mountains, but I don't want the same look for the sky. So I take a tissue, I roll it up, and I just blend and smudge that top part for the sky until it becomes all soft and like a smoothie. Now I have a great contrast between the soft, warm, and fuzzy sky and that rough, jagged mountain. Okay, I gotta go. But before I do, I need you to save everything. Save all of your materials. Save the 2 papers that you've already torn in half. We're going to use that again. Definitely save your landscape art because we're going to use that again. And if you did make your scrap sheet where you practice your different shades, even save that paper. If you have a folder or something to put it in, keep it all in one place so that we can get back to it the next time. Oh, I'm so sorry, Wizards, but I've got to go. In part 2, we'll pick up where we left off. All right, I'll see you next time, Wizards. Bye-bye.